Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far from sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
We have finally found a place for the Colossus to call home.
It's an old rebellion outpost. War's coming for us here. I think she's the one in charge.
Ooh, you're quick.
Gotcha, Kaz.
Hello there, space wizards and plastic spacemen and rebel princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman, and you're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 93. Today, we're going to be talking about season 2 of Star Wars Resistance, episode 15, The New World. I just wish, honestly, there was something that happened this week. I don't know. It was kind of low. Nothing really going on in Star Wars world. No, I'm kidding. We got an Obi-Wan trailer. Oh my goodness. It was just... Wednesday was a good day. Let's just put it that way. So, start off, the Disney investors meeting was happening that day. That was the buzz. The buzz was there. And so early in the morning, we got some Entertainment Weekly stills of the Obi-Wan movie, or TV series. And you're like, oh my goodness. And we got a bunch of different shots that were cool, and Obi-Wan looking around a corner and got his hood on, and then a couple of Inquisitor shots. And like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. But of course, the fans, everyone's like, where's this trailer? Because there was rumors that it was happening, that was going to happen, and it did not disappoint. It was happening. It dropped, and people lost their minds. I was like, what are we gonna do here? So let's just kind of break it down real quick. It was good. I mean, we have some Duel Fates and Battle of the Heroes in this trailer. I think that's what really kind of sets it up. And we have this kind of cool fade of the Lucasfilm with the sand logo, and oh my goodness, and then the Disney Plus with the lightsaber at the end. It's all over the place, but it is really, really cool. And why don't we just take a moment to go through it? So I'm gonna do broad strokes here. I'm not gonna go like frame by frame. You can do that at your leisure. But there are some really cool spots in here. And we'll just kind of, so we get a nice little shot of Obi-Wan in exile. He's kind of looking over. We got this kind of behind the back shot of him looking on the sands of Tatooine, probably watching Luke. We got this nice little shot of in Mos Eisley with him and Opie, and we see him on a train with other workers, kind of distraught and mopey, which is fine. We got another kind of cool shot of this other planet that I believe they're calling Dayu, which is kind of the got more of that kind of underworld look, little Coruscant underworld kind of look. And we got Obi-Wan like in a hood watching somebody, which is cool. We got this kind of shootout on the rooftops. So I don't know, again, if it's Obi-Wan or somebody else, but he's definitely shooting up on the rooftops, which is interesting. We get this kind of binocular shot, and he kind of zooms in. We know this shot. We know who this is. This is Lars Homestead. We see Lars and Aunt Beru kind of come out of one of the little hovels, and then there's Luke Skywalker doing some pod racing on top of one of the houses. Oh my gosh, my heart! I can't take it. He's even got goggles on, like father, like son. It's so cool. It's so cool. We got this cool shot of like, I think the third sister is called Reva, and she is the African woman lady, and she is kind of talking to the fifth brother, I believe, and another sister here on this table. And there's a stormtrooper, and it looks cool. It looks very imperial, which is awesome. What else? We got another shot of back to Tatooine, and we get a close-up of Uncle Owen, who's played by Joel Edgerton, and there's a hanging. So I think what's happening is the Inquisitor is trying to kind of get the people's attention and bring him out. Then we get this another cool shot back at like Dayu or whatever it is. And it's got this kind of arbresh in the back, and she's looking down, trying to find everybody. And then the next shot, we got something like, now there's a little controversy that this might be a Han Solo blaster. I'm not really seeing it. It kind of looks like it, but it's basically a guy in the alley with Reva there. I don't know. It's a stretch. It could be there. And then we get Rupert Fiend as the Grand Inquisitor. Already, we're talking about his head. It's kind of small. It's not. It's kind of round. He has the same tattoo markings as the Grand Inquisitor in Rebels. So now, not only do we got some Cad Bane heat, but now we got some Grand Inquisitor heat. I'm kind of on the fence because one of the things is that, you know, he's Pauan, I think is the species. And we see them in Utapau when Obi-Wan goes and visits them. And they got a pointy head, and they got like a lot of ridges and all that stuff. And so when you see the Grand Inquisitor in Rebels, it's a little bit more animated, obviously a little bit more exaggerated. And now the Grand Inquisitor here doesn't have those kind of like skin ridges that the Powans have. And so I'm on the fence with this one. I'm good either way. Again, you know, animation exaggerates. That's the whole point of animation. So when you come into real world and real practical effects, I'm not totally hung up on it. I just hoping that Rupert Fiend brings that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool there. We got Sung Kang. Now, Sung Kang is from Fast and Furious. I love him in Fast and Furious, and he is the fifth brother. There's this really cool shot of some stormtroopers in this kind of Coruscant underground looking thing. I believe this is Diva or whatever what is it called? What's the planet called again? See, I'm already like losing it. It is something, please, internet. Dayu. There we go. See, Star Wars names, they're hard, and I need like a couple iterations to figure it out. We got a double blade spinning lightsaber again, very similar. We saw that in Rebels, so there's no surprise there. There's already debate like that silhouette of the guy's head. It could be a clone trooper or possibly another Jedi. Who knows? It's hard to tell. It's definitely, he's trying to find out where he's at. We see another shot back at Mos Eisley. Reva looking for... it almost looked like it's Uncle Owen, but maybe it's somebody else that she's trying to chase down. There's a quick shot of escape pods. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. We get the temple shot of the Fortress Inquisitoress on Nur, I think it is. We get to see this Jedi Fallen Order. If you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order or watch Rebels, this is your opportunity to do that. It is so good. We get to see this again in both those series. We get this cool shot of Imperial Officer. Okay, I gotta talk about this Stormtrooper's butt. Okay, so there's a real quick shot of, it looks like a Stormtrooper's holding some kind of lightsaber, but I know my TK, that is not a Stormtrooper butt. I also have a pretty good idea of like the Clone Wars, and obviously there wasn't any Clone Troopers filmed literally in the prequels, but I don't know if that's Clone Trooper Army. So I'm a little like, I'm wondering what this trooper is. It's hard to say, but I'm just fascinated by this butt. I'm like, it's not TK, it's not a clone trooper, so who knows? Then at the end of the trailer, everything's like, oh my gosh, it's too much. And then you get the actual Darth Vader breathing. They did this. They always tease us with the breathing. Yeah, we know it's the Vader, but we didn't get to see Hayden Christensen. So, but it ends, and it's like coming May 25th, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then today, Thursday, Entertainment Weekly released a still of Darth Vader in, I would say, his temple, his castle, Vader Castle on Mustafar, and it's got meditation chamber, and we got a still of Darth Vader. It's fantastic. So anyways, showed this to Trent. He enjoyed it. He had a lot of questions. We're like already kind of thinking about, should we watch, it's kind of a lot of Inquisitors, should we watch more Rebels and check that out? So we might revisit Rebels before this comes out, but yeah, we are stoked. It's gonna be cool. I'm wondering if they're gonna do one more trailer on May the 4th, but this one was good enough for me. I always like to keep the nice and close to the vest, but this one's good. I mean, my wild theory here is obviously we need to get Obi-Wan off the island, off Tatooine, and I think it's Leia. I really do. I think we already know Jimmy Smits is coming back as Bail Organa, and I just feel like Bail's gonna be like, yo, I'm in trouble. Leia's been captured, and I need a Jedi, and I think that's what drives Obi-Wan to come off. That's maybe, or the Inquisitors figure out a way to bait the Jedi out. I'm not sure, but there's definitely some kind of hook that gets Obi-Wan off the Tatooine, and I'm taking a wild stretch, and it's Leia. That's my call. That's it. So there you have it. It should be a lot of fun. So there you have it. That was great. I hope everyone enjoyed that trailer. I thought it was great. Again, besides the Grand Inquisitor's head, if you want to debate that, that's fine. I think, again, it's kind of like, if I saw Cad Bane before, I might have really been thrown off, but like seeing it real time in Book of Boba, it was fantastic. And so I'm kind of on that route with this one. I just want to see the Grand Inquisitor like literally more in action so I can see it before I make any kind of judgment on it. So there you have it. All right, we're getting back to season 2 of Star Wars Resistance. This one is called The New World. Not the New World Order, but The New World. This one is pretty straightforward. It originally aired on January 12th, 2020. And the Colossus arrives at a beautiful planet that Captain Doza hopes it will be this new home, but the world's inhabitants may not be so welcoming. And then you add the dun dun dun. So we pull up. Kaz is curious, like, what's going on? And basically the Aces are called to do a recon. He is so that's the plan. They reach, it's called Eos Prime is the planet, and it's in the Outer Rim, and Doza feels like this is a great first this is looks like to be a good landing place because he's sick of the Colossus running around, and obviously they're kind of running out of resources, so he doesn't want to do anything to damage, like further jeopardize the inhabitants of the Colossus, and really just wants to kind of settle down. Griff and Kaz are paired up. Now Griff has the ex-Imperial kind of vibe going on. He's pretty cool. I think it's been a while since we've had Griff do anything more in the series, so they team up. And when they get to a scouting area of an island, they see some inhibitors, and so Griff's like, hey, let's touch down. They touch down. Kaz is looking around. They both got their droids out, their astromechs, and Kaz finds actually a First Order helmet. So he runs after Griff. Griff is not there. He keeps on running through this tunnel, and it turns out it's an old rebel base. We see the rebellion symbol on the side, and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And then during this part, he kind of keeps on looking around, and then he comes into contact with these species. I don't know. I mean, Aeosins, maybe? Is that how you say it? I don't know. They're kind of have like chicken legs, and they have like, they're more kind of fish like, I guess, or something like along that lines. I mean, it kind of remind me a little bit of like Avatar. They kind of had that feel going on. Seemed like they were part of the world and the resources, and they got these cool kind of like air whales kind of thing going on. And but yeah, so they get captured. Kaz gets thrown into a cell, and there's Griff. So nothing too major there. But they're captured, and so they're trying to figure out again what is going on. What can we do? So once then, what happens is that also at the same time, they see the Colossus and some of the Aeosins, I'll just say that, they see the Colossus and they go after it, and then they land basically where the Aces are, and Niku, being Niku, introduces himself, but they then are super battle droids from the previous couple episodes, or yes, the last week's episode with the mutiny. They showed up, start firefighting, and they get in trouble, and so there's a little hostility going on as there's a little firefight in the bridge and just trying to get everything calmed down. And so Jaeger is trying to negotiate and try to stand down the battle droids at the same time. We go back to Kaz and Griff, and they meet the Queen. And the Queen, Kaz basically tries to introduce himself, and obviously he talks really slow and tries to communicate, and she can speak basic, which Kaz is grateful for, but he essentially says, hey, we're trying to find resources and we want to help each other out. Can we do that? And so the Queen's like, let me go talk to the captain. And she basically kind of says like there was other inhabitants there, but yeah, we're trying to get rid of the First Order, which were just around. So they have to, then they take the Queen, and they go back to take the Queen and say, hey, we need to figure out a way to help you out, and we have medicines. And so as they're going back to their cell, Kaz sees a sick Aeosin, and he has like a stim stick or something like that gives the Aeosin immediate relief, and he feels better. So that's where this is kind of the plan B for Kaz. And again, I think it just shows that Kaz is thinking of others and not himself, and that's very good as far as being a resistance spy and part of the rebellion and what they do and stand up for not only themselves but other people, and that was very cool. So he reaches out in kindness, and it turns out the Queen notices that, obviously, and so now it's time to broker a peace deal. They go back to the Colossus and talk to Doza, and Doza feels that, here's some medicine. So Kaz gives him medicine, and right now the Queen feels like they can work with each other because the rebellion that was there before really helped them out, and there was again, it's all about the yin yang. There's copacetic there, and they were able to have this kind of peaceful relationship between the rebels, and now with the resistance on board, they feel like they could do it too. Kaz, still very interesting about Kaz, and you could see that he's kind of growing up, is that Kaz feels that he senses war, not peace. And so he's like actually less optimistic than Doza as far as like, yeah, this is something that we can accomplish or deal with. Like I think like Kaz really feels like there is still war to be had. And obviously with the Forced Order just being there, they might come back. It's hard to say. But then Kaz kind of looks out to the sunset, and there's a nice little shot of like the ocean view and all that fun stuff. And that is how the episode ends. Very interesting. So I based on Kaz's little kind of premonition, I feel like we're gonna get some First Order very, very shortly, and probably not what the Colossus crew wants. But there you have it. That is really all about that. As I was preparing for this episode, I'm like, episode 93, as we get kind of in the 90s here, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to see, kind of backtrack a little bit and see what was actually happening in 1993. That's significant for me because that's the year I graduated high school. It's crazy. So that is almost 30 years ago. It's crazy. But here we are, and I thought it would be kind of cool to see some of the things that were happening in 1993. I know personally, this is where I was introduced to Timothy Zahn. So this is kind of the moment, if you will, that really kind of kick-started my Star Wars fandom to like overdrive, was that introduction to Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire. And so that's kind of where this started for me in 1993. So it's kind of rekindled that love for Star Wars. Now, really, some of the things that are happening is that Star Wars X-Wing was released in February. So that is a game that I just absolutely adore. So that was released in February. I was playing heavily of that on my, I believe it was a 486 computer with like 4 megs of RAM or something ridiculous like that, or 8 megs. It might have been 8 megs, but it was a really, my Sound Blaster 16. I know I'm dating myself, but kids, look it up. There you go. And so that was going on. I think, at this point, Dark Horse had some comics happening. The Last Command was published. So that's the third, I believe that's the third book in the Zahn trilogy that was introduced in May. It was, you got, I'm trying to think what else. This is kind of crazy. According to this, Warner Brothers was founded in June of 1993, which just seems odd to me, but there you go. That's cool. I'm trying to think of anything else. We have Cameron Mulhagen, who plays Cal Kestis, was born, and same with Taylor Gray, who voiced Ezra, are born in 1993. So that's pretty cool. We got a couple books that happen. The Truce at Bakura. This is in the EU. So right after, this is a part where the Empire and the Rebels actually agree and have a truce, which is cool. 2 big games also released in the end of the year. You had Star Wars Rebel Assault, which is like, if I remember correctly, that was the first time they used video of actual costumes. So you're talking 10 years removed from Return of the Jedi, and they're actually using costumes and filming new stuff. The game is kind of what I would call a rail game, where you really didn't have to do too much, but it's enough to get you immersed in the Star Wars world. And then Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back is released in on the Super Nintendo. And man, that is a tough game. All those Super Nintendo games are tough. Yeah, that's some pretty good highlights from Tales of the Jedi were also published from Dark Horse at the time, which is kind of cool, getting into kind of that old Republic. So that was very interesting. And so, yeah, there you go. 1993, almost 30 years ago. Holy cow. So there you have it. I just thought it was kind of cool. Just kind of thinking about that. So we'll dabble that in a little bit, see what's going on in those years. So there you have it. Another episode of Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. If you want to reach out to us, Big T Little T podcast on Instagram, BLILT podcast on Twitter, and then twitch.tv/Big T Little T. Yes, my computer is back. The laptop is back. We got it fixed from Acer, and so I'm so grateful for that. But the only problem, like, they had to replace my hard drive, so still got the old hard drive. I just got to figure out if I can get information off of that. But yeah, I'm back and operational, so we should be streaming hopefully very, very soon. But there you have it. Yeah, it's good to have it back. So if you want to, we have some stickers, we have some swag we want to throw your way. So comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcast or your Pod Chasers or wherever you rate your podcast. Send us a screenshot and we'll read that review on the next upcoming episode. Hey, if you want to drop us a question, bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, we just want to hear from you. Also, we have bio link, so it's bio.link/Big T Little T. Has all the links, all the information. If you can't remember all that stuff, so that's the one you need to remember. bio.link/Big T and Little T. And that can be also found in our profiles on Instagram and Twitter, just in case that's too hard to write down or remember. Totally get all of it. But there you have it. Next week, we'll be still probably analyzing that Obi-Wan trailer a little bit, but we're going to go back into season 2 here and finish up the last couple episodes. So there you have it. Now, truly, oh, wait, I even botched it up. See, Trent usually botches up, but now it's my turn. So now remember, truly wonderful the mind of the child is, and may the Force be with you always. Bye. See you later. Bye, 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 bye.
The fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden.
The key to hunting Jedi is patience. Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi Code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
1 2 1 2 1 2. There we go.